You know, when I was a boy, Mama Jumbo said to me, she said, son, you're proper fugly and will never amount to anything. Yeah, she said, son, pointy-eared incel aliens aside, Star Trek is an all-around great show, but if only it could be improved by adding mass amounts of lens flare, fatties and current-day social commentary, whilst also making it super cringe and totally painful to watch. And well, looks like she got a wish, I guess, because Star Trek : Starfleet Academy, aka Liberal Space Liberals in Space, is just the kind of show she was envisioning.
Yay?
Now, as a relative noob when it comes to all things Trek, with Enterprise being the only show I ever fully watched 20 odd years ago and haven't seen a single Trek thing since, other than the fun yet forgettable Jar Jar Abrams movies, I'm coming at this from a completely casual perspective, rather than a lore-obsessed virgin what can recite pi to the third decimal in Klingon.
Ha! Gay!
So, does this show work for normies? And is it friendly to the casual viewer just jumping on to check out the current state of Star Trek today? Well, kinda. I mean, it sets up a new plot that's relatively simple to follow along with, but it does also reference things I ain't got a Scooby about, like something ominously called The Burn, or what everyone keeps mentioning yet not explaining, and also apparent callbacks to characters from earlier spin-offs, like this baldy doctor bloke and why he's apparently aged 20 years despite being a phony fakey hologram.
Doctor, I can't help noticing you seem more mature than expected.
About 500 years ago, I added an aging program to my matrix to put organics at ease.
Of course.
Nobody cares! And you need to shut up!
But anyway, more on that later. And FYI, there's going to be full spoilers for these first two eps, because they've already been out a while and I doubt anyone really cares, to be honest.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
So the plot goes like this. A starving mum gets her parental rights stripped and shipped off to rehab for years because she desperately did a trucy team up with a porky space pirate who tried to steal from the Federation, which ended in an officer getting yeeted. As a standard liberal white woman with hopped up levels of empathy, Captain Aki feels super bad about splitting up mother and child and so prepares to take the boy in as a ward of the state. However, despite being one of the worst child actors since any of the ones in Fear the Walking Dead Season 8, he turns out to be a super genius and escapes. As 15 years later, Caleb Amir is now all grown and roided up and living a sad life of crime. He soon ends up reuniting with Captain Aki and persuaded to join Starfleet Academy to put him back on the right path, and also potentially find his mother, who's now escaped jail and is on the run. And shit just escalates from there. Ultimately, this is a Gen Z show stuffed with diverse young up-and-comers and super anachronistic jarring dialogue.
The mess hall is now open. Make sure to visit, because sometimes hunger is the greatest enemy of all.
Hunger? Really? So we're supposed to be in the 32nd century, yet we're still talking like 21st century TikTokers from 2016?
No!
Right from the off, this stuff takes you completely out of the world as it's presented, and reminds me of the same mistakes Doctor Who made last year when it supposedly set a story 500,000 years in the future, yet still featured a bloody deaf girl who relied on current day sign language and basic hearing aids to communicate.
What?
And they even do this shit here too, because in episode 2, the president guy also has to communicate with sign language.
Okay.
It's like the producers are determined to force in liberal virtue signalling quotas, no matter how farcical or setting-shattering it becomes. And other things like this take you out of the universe too. Like, why are there fatties on deck when the Doctor fellow was shown fixing everyone to peak health before even coming on board? And why is there an AI teenager written like a retard who was seemingly born yesterday? Or 4 months prior, technically, I guess. But like, can't they just make her have the intellect of a regular 17-year-old for frick's sake? Oh, I don't know. I guess in the 32nd century they're all mogadons, really. I mean, the other chubby girl says she's straight up eaten her comms device or some shit, and somehow the Doctor's not even surprised.
I think I swallowed my comm badge.
Already? Tricorder?
Ow!
Don't be a baby. Next.
Sorry, am I missing something? Is this normal for a species or what? Very bizarre. It's also strange how they were able to assemble a pretty decent set of names to star in this dross, to be fair, including veteran sci-fi chap Bobby Picardo, the aforementioned Paul Giamatti, who's clearly having a blast as a portly space piratey guy, newly fired She-Hulk as Caleb's mummy, the bloke from The Mummy back in the day, and even Holly Hunter as a super professional hippie pensioner captain who refuses to wear shoes for some reason.
Sometimes I just need to let the little piggies out to pasture. Know what I mean?
I can confidently say I do not.
The new lead actor they cast as Caleb seems fine, but is clearly inexperienced and settling into the role. Though I'm not wholly convinced his American accent is totally real, but I don't know, maybe it is. Just sad to see him immediately stuck inside a lame romance subplot between him and a young Rachel Wise looking chick, whilst he's forced to deliver reams and reams of technobabble shtick before his character is bollocked and grounded yet again simply for hacking into a comms array that saved everyone's lives.
What a fucking liberty.
Oh, and nobody's favourite comedian Gina Yashir turns up as a Klingon cadet master, who's actually pretty offensively characterised as the archetypal obnoxious black woman trope constantly emasculating black men. Well, some positives include decent CGI in space battles, at least in episode 1, and certainly not counting the dodgy CG rock monster in the opening of episode 2.
What the hell is even that?
And also a funny moment involving a blue guy, essentially confirming that he can survive in space without a suit, because he's quote,
I'm Kyonian, bitch.
and which of course only served to remind me of the classic,
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
but the negatives are just too numerous to ignore. Like, I'm no expert, but surely not all races mature or age at the same rate, right? So many of the cadets should not necessarily look like human-aged teens. I mean, some might look like toddlers, and some like other adults, etc.
No, he's got a point.
But whatevs, it's current day Kurtzman Trek, so screw thinking and shit. On the whole, the diverse liberal college vibes just get way too insufferable before long. And as episode 2 shows, I don't think I want to sign up to a YA teen show where tiny scrawny women humiliate strong male leads every week whilst an old git belts out opera on a small balcony.
Give me a fucking break.
Ultimately, I don't really know who this show is for. College space libs with phasers set to bore? Maybe. Ep 2 revolves around bringing Betazoids back into Starfleet after they spent years hiding behind a walled off community or some shit. I mean, right there, Betazoid sounds like a nickname a right-wing YouTuber would come up with just to be derogatory when referring to most of the younger cast. And well, I for one am pretty much done investing any more time into this schlock, led by a gaggle of Gen Z Betazoids. Alas, this show is just too cringe for me. As a full-blown Trekkie, you might well like it if you're craving something new, but for me, I think I'll stick with better shows like Pluribus, Fallout, and the 24-hour global rolling news channel. Because whatever crazy shit is going on in Minneapolis today has got to be more entertaining than whatever this low-effort crud was meant to be.
A teachable moment.
But anyway, those are just my thoughts on the show. I'd give this 4.8 literal fence straddlers out of 10. Let me know yours down in the comments. If you liked the vid, kindly subscribe and I'll see you again next time. And if you didn't and I don't, then have a nice life, pal.